Good evening. I'd like to call the February 12th Pittsburgh City Commission meeting to order. Please join me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would open it up for public input. Anyone wants to come forward? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items to remove for discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for a roll call vote. All those in favor? No, how do we do that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, okay.
A second.
Oh, I messed up within the first time. There's a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. We'll call for a roll call vote.
Chenoweth? Aye. McNally?
Aye.
McNay?
Aye.
Munson?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on to special presentations, we have Laura Klusner from the Planning and Zoning Commission for their annual report. Laura, if you want to come forward.
Thank you. Madam President, Commissioners, I'm Laura Klusner. I'm the current chair of the Planning and Zoning and the Board of Zoning Appeals groups. In 2017, the Planning Commission and the Board of Zoning Appeals memberships were combined to create the Planning Commission / Board of Zoning Appeals. 7 members make up the Planning Commission or Board of Zoning Appeals group. 5 of the members must be residents of the city. 2 of the members shall reside outside of the city limits but within 3 miles. Meetings are held monthly in this room unless there's no business, and agendas are coordinated with the zoning administrator. Planning Commission Board of Zoning Appeals members are community members with a wide range of professions and experiences. Today, the commission consists of local business and residential property owners, a banker, and longtime Pittsburgh residents. Current members are Bob Gilmore, Mike Wilbur, Francis DeMott, Kyle Michael, Mike Creel, Laura Klusner, and Leah Posterick. All of our meetings are open to the public, and we review site plans for new construction or construction additions or expansions in all of our planning districts. We hold public hearings for items such as conditional use requests, changes in zoning requests, and changes to zoning ordinances. New plats or replats are also reviewed during our meetings. For some items such as plats or zoning changes, we may submit recommendations to you for your final review and approval. And then public hearings for requests for variances to zoning regulations for a single property. For such items as a distance, a structure can be from a right-of-way, placement of signage, or fence placement are also held, but those recommendations are not required to be brought to you. So, any questions?
Questions for Laura?
What's the most interesting thing that you guys have done lately?
Well, we've had some higher profile cases than others. So I do remember that we've had some discussions about animals in the city and have talked about setting and reviewing some recommendations for that over the next year.
So do you set kind of goals for the year or just whatever comes your way?
We do have some goals, but we also deal with projects as they come up. So, for more specifics on the goals, I can turn to Dexter or Cameron. So.
Any other questions for Laura? No. Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Laura.
All right, moving on, we have the Airport Advisory Board Annual Report. Joe, brand new member. Did you get the short straw?
Madam President and Commissioners, my name is Joe Leake, resident of Pittsburg, Kansas since 1988. I am the newest elected member of the Pittsburg City Airport Advisory Committee. I'm filling in tonight for Jess Hudson, fellow committee member who is scheduled to present to you a report from the Airport Advisory Committee, but had an unavoidable personal conflict which prevented him from being here tonight. As a rookie member of the committee, I will attempt to provide you information about the city's Airport Advisory Committee. Current members of the committee are Chairman Sean Inns, corporate jet pilot for names and numbers, Vice Chairman Ron Close, executive for Watco Companies, Brian Hamilton, corporate jet pilot for Impex, Jess Hudson, single engine pilot and personal flight trainer, Michael Trebelhorn, corporate jet pilot for Jake's Fireworks, and Ron Holman, jet pilot for Ron Scripsey, and myself, retired banker and a pilot wannabe. Prior to my retirement, I was a Community National Bank Trust Pittsburgh Banking Center president for 8 years, and in the final 5 years as the corporate director of marketing for the bank. Ex officio members of the committee consist of Cameron Alden, Pittsburgh City Director of Public Works, and Bill Pyle, Airport Manager. The basic purpose of the Airport Advisory Board is to provide input and feedback to the city in their operation of the Atkinson Municipal Airport. Also, there is a written master plan in place for the airport improvements, which the committee assisted in and is helping in the following as they go forward with the master plan. Here's a book if anybody would like to take a look at it tonight. The advisory board provides comments to the city administrators in prioritizing those improvements that are in the master plan. As the city administration undertakes grant writing for an FAA airport grants, having an airport advisory board in place certainly improves our chances to successfully obtain the needed funds. A classic example of how FAA grants support our airport is the additional 600 feet recently added to runway 17. The federal government financed 90% of the work while the city matched 10%. A very good deal, I would say. The 5 users of airport services who are on the committee give hands-on advice to Bill Pyle as they see fit. A real good example of this is when they lobbied with Bill for the installation of AWOS, acronym for Automated Weather Observation System. A pilot planning to land in Pittsburgh can get current weather conditions at the Atkinson Airport simply by dialing up their cell phone. Let me demonstrate.
Municipal Airport, Automated Weather Observation 2341, Zulu, weather, wind, calm, visibility 10, clear, below 12,000, temperature 5 Celsius, dew point -2, altimeter 3017.
That's cool.
Every pilot will tell you this is a huge safety feature. Little things like the suggestion from the committee to have the ability to bring airplane fuel right to the hangar rather than having to pull up to a fixed location for fueling, which is added to the many excellent services the airport provides. You may ask why a non-user like myself has gotten involved with the advisory board. Well, the Atkinson Municipal Airport is one of the best kept secrets in southeast Kansas. The city airport consists of approximately 742 acres. The runway system is composed of 2 paved runways, which measure 6,000 feet long and 100 feet wide for the north-south runway, and the crosswind runway of 4,000 feet long and 75 feet wide. Atkinson Municipal Airport has 39 based aircraft comprised of 28 single-engine planes, 4 multi-engine planes, and 7 jet planes, and 1 helicopter. This is a major economic development ingredient that shines far above the horizon for Pittsburg, Kansas. I can tell you for a fact, as past banking center president for Community National Bank and Trust, These airport features cannot be matched by any of our 34 cities in the Community National Banking Network. I want to see the airport continue to grow and prosper because it just adds another arrow in the quiver of economic vitality for all citizens living in Pittsburgh and its surrounding areas. I'm open for questions, but as you can see, I have already missed my first meeting, which was a week ago Monday. They are quarterly meetings, and I will try to answer them or maybe direct them to Cameron or Bill.
I appreciate your comments on the economic development, because I think it is a piece that we don't talk about a lot, but definitely helps to attract businesses that have that capacity.
It is a tremendous feature. Anytime I ever mentioned it to my friends, anywhere I go to tell them what kind of airport we have, they said, "And what size is your city?"
It's great.
That's good to hear.
Thanks for stepping
Yeah.
up, Joe.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Joe. All right, moving on to non-agenda reports and requests. Bi-monthly review from Director of Finance, Jamie Clarkson.
Good evening, Madam President and Commissioners. I'm here tonight to present the year-end budget recap for 2018. Maybe, there we go. Alrighty, 2018 was a good year financially for the city of Pittsburgh. We started the year off with 12.6 million in the bank, and we finished the year with 13.5 million in the bank. We were able to add $850,000 in reserves to our cash balances in 2018. The two main operating funds are the general fund and the utility fund. They both finished in the black. The general fund finished with a positive balance of a little over $5 million. The utility fund finished with about $2.9 million in the bank. A couple of the funds were actually spent more than we took in, and there was reasons for that. The sales tax revolving loan fund spent a little over $700,000 more than it was brought in. Part of that was due to our economic development activities, and 2018 was the second and last year of our $750,000 commitment for Block 22. So that's over with, so 2019 will not see that expenditure. We also spent $800,000 in capital reserves in the utility fund, and that was funds we were putting away for 3 years, and that paid for the South Water Tower and the Northeast Industrial Park Water Tower improvements. The total for those two was about $760-some thousand to get that done last year. I don't see anything out of whack for the year. A couple of notable items: sales tax collections were actually down 0.8% compared to 2017, and that was mainly due to a transaction the state did where they had paid us money in 2018 or in 2017, but then one of their customers filed an exemption for that year, and they took the money back out of 2018 for 2017, so that lowered our tax collections in 2018 because of that deal. Property tax collections were down about $92,000 in 2018 to what I had estimated. I had estimated about 3.5% delinquency, and it came in a little over 4%. Franchise tax collections were up about 3.7% in 2018 compared to 2017, which is good. Gaming revenues, they averaged $28,000 in 2018 compared to $24,000 in 2017, so those have helped out quite a bit. And that all goes to the general fund. Are there any questions on anything?
I have just a general question, and I can't remember if this passed or is just on the docket, allowing states, now Kansas, to collect internet sales tax. Did that pass, or is that
They're-
just
they're-
in
they're
the
considering it.
legislature?
They're considering, they gotta
Considering it.
work it through the legislature.
Right. I was wondering how, seeing that the sales tax is down, although it sounds like that's for a specific reason, if that, might change your projections if that goes through?
I don't have enough data to support that yet.
Is that something that the league is supporting, Darren?
Yeah, that's one of our main issues this
Yeah.
year with the policy agenda was internet sales. It's been on there the last 2 years. We've had a lot of pushback from retailers who, of course, will bear the burden of having to file all the necessary forms about their sales receipts, but there's two pieces of that. They file with the IRS, and then the IRS comes to you as somebody that bought something big and says, hey, when you filed your taxes this year, did you make that sales tax payment? So it's a new world, but I think the states are all struggling and the communities are struggling with the loss of more and more internet. So I think it's probably going to happen this year. If not, it'll happen next year.
I know a lot of internet retailers do charge sales tax if they've got a footprint in the state of Kansas.
Good question.
On the delinquent property tax, what recourse do we have?
Oh, this isn't extraordinary.
Right.
It's every
Just
year.
General question.
The recourse is normally a property owner can go delinquent for 3 years, I believe, Henry. Then it's up to the county to decide what they want to do with that delinquency. But we also collect what's called delinquent taxes each year, which is for prior years that you don't know which year they're paying for, but it helps offset some of that. But we never collect 100%, but if you can stay above 90%, 95%, you're doing pretty good, I think. So I think we collected like just under 96%. But I've seen years where it's been right at 95% too. So
Thank you. Any other questions for Jamie? All right.
all right, thank you.
Good job, Danny.
Darren, anything else under reports and requests?
Two things. One, that report's not an accident. That's a lot of Jamie's guidance over the year. He's pretty tough on how we spend money, and I wish his investment opportunities were greater than they are, because we'd see even more return on our investments. But when you have $13 million in the bank, you can tell that, and that grows every year. That's because Jamie won't let us spend any money after like October. But they put a lot of work into it, so I want to make sure that the department heads get the credit for saving that money. The fire chief, police chief, and every one of them do a great job of checking their money quarterly and making sure that they're not ahead of pace, and if they are, they back it down. And we appreciate all the tax money that we get, and we want to keep taxes as low as we can. Secondly, I have a conflict on the March 12th meeting. I'll be on league business out of town. Would appreciate it moving the meeting either up or back, or
skip?
or just let it go. It's spring break, as you told me, I think, in a recent conversation. So just throw that out. We don't need to make that decision tonight, but we probably should make that decision at the next meeting, the last meeting in February.
Are there unintended consequences with only having one meeting in the month?
No, as far as bill payment, which is the driver of everything at the city, it wouldn't do anything as far as when we pay the bills. They're already paid. You guys are just seeing them a report after the fact for the most part. So no, it wouldn't interrupt anything on service delivery. The question would be if there was a looming agenda item that needed attention, and we'll definitely be able to answer that question at the next meeting when you guys make the final consideration. That's all I've got.
Okay, anything else? I didn't make the 12 minutes, but close. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Great. Thank you, everyone.
Good job, Dawn.
Thanks.
Bring it. Come on. Bring it.
Oh, yeah. We're done. Sorry.